What's up, my beautiful lost souls? It's a diary entry update. Don't question the look right now. Honestly, it's giving. I just wanted to throw something on so I could come on camera. Y'all already know what it is. Like, don't act like y'all don't know what it is. Like, y'all know I come on here looking any old type of way. Look, y'all, since it's a diary entry, I'm just take this however direction I want to take it. Look, one thing I'm not gonna do is put on a whole front just to come on camera and talk some shit. I'm not doing all that. That doesn't mean to say like I don't care about this or like I'm not taking it seriously. Girl, this is my online diary. Like I'm taking it seriously, but I'm also not gonna like I'm gonna come on here as the real me. This is what I look like when I'm at home not doing shit. Now, if y'all be on my Instagram or my TikTok, you know when I get cute, I get cute. But when I'm at home, like, I don't know. I just be doing me. But anyways, it's a diary entry update. So, y'all already know damn, I keep forgetting. Okay, so y'all already know I got into a car accident and basically the day after I got into a car accident, my new job fired me because we couldn't make it because of the car accident. What sense does that make? I'm still trying to figure it out. Yeah, so we're dealing with all the legal shit with the ticket because who's paying for that shit? Not me, bitch. Not I, said the duck. I'm not paying for that shit. So I have to keep reminding my aunt to like call the ticket people. Not I have to keep reminding. I have to keep reminding myself to remind her because I'm not gonna lie, a bitch forgot. Like I am so forgetful. I hate it sometimes. But so since then I've been job hunting and let me tell y'all, job hunting is so hard. Like this shit is so hard because it's like no matter how many times you apply, like sometimes like I can't force these jobs to hire me. You feel me? So it's like being unemployed is hard because it's like people think you're unemployed by choice, but it's like I can't force these jobs to hire me. Do you know how hard it is to get hired? Like unpopular opinion, y'all, hiring managers are so lazy. Like I'm trying to get to this bread. Like obviously I don't want to be okay, I shouldn't say I'm broke because I have money, but it's like I want a stable income. You feel me? Like I want stable income. I'm not gonna say how much money I got or none of that. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all want to know because baby, I got a lot of advice to give. Y'all want to know a good tip you should follow? My grandmother always told me never tell somebody how much money you have. To everybody, you always want to say I'm broke. You never want to tell somebody how much money you have. You never want to tell them if you have money at all. So I'm broke. I'm broke. To you guys, I'm broke. But yeah, like I'm looking for a job and shit, and it's like I've been applying to multiple jobs, which I definitely fit the standards of, but a bitch ain't getting hired, and it's like I don't want to work a job that's like, no offense, I don't want to work like fast food. Like I've never worked fast food before. Like I've worked high caliber jobs. Like I'm trying to get another one. You feel me? I'm not putting down nobody that's working those jobs. Let me tell you something. Get it where you can get it. Okay? Get it where you live it where you get it, whatever the case may be. If you need a bag, you need a bag. I respect people that work those jobs because the hustle, the grind, people catching the attitude, like I respect it. But me personally, I can't do it. Like my mental health wise, I cannot do it. So that's what I've been struggling with. Overall, I've just been feeling meh. My days, they've been kind of like okay, like some days are okay, some days are like because you know a job makes you busy and my days haven't really been busy. Like I have a lot of free time on my hands, so which is why I be pushing out these videos like this. I got a lot of free time on my hands. But yeah, and that's something else I noticed about myself. Like the universe, I guess like a reoccurring theme in my life is like the universe it always tries to teach me like patience, because I'm the type of person where I don't have no patience. I don't like waiting. If I want something, I want it now. Like that's just the type of person I am. I move at a fast pace, baby. I'm from New York. Like bitch, even when I'm walking down the sidewalk, there could be nobody on the sidewalk. I could have nowhere to go, but I'm walking with a purpose. Like I walk fast. I like when my life is in motion, if that makes sense. Like I like when things are going on in my life. Like I got to do this. I'm busy. I like it. I like being busy. When I'm not busy, I don't know what to do with myself. So I feel like that's one of the themes, reoccurring themes in my life is like the universe is trying to teach me to accept these moments of just stillness and use it for like meditation, getting back right in alignment, and all of that. So yeah, other than that, you guys, I have great news. Guess who's about to be discharged from the army? Now, long story short, because ooh child, this is a whole like you know what I should start doing? Comment down below if y'all think I should start doing this. Story times. Like I have again, what's so crazy is like before I started YouTube, I literally used to think like, why would I even do YouTube? Like, what would I even do on there? Because my life is not interesting. I always would think like, man, my life is not interesting. I don't have much to share. I don't have much to say. Like, nothing happens in my life. Boy, oh boy, was I wrong. Like, let me tell y'all, having Uranus in the fifth house, there's always something dramatic. Like, get into astrology, y'all. I promise you. Get a reading from somebody. Matter of fact, I might link another YouTube channels, a content creator. She does birth chart readings. Basically, if you know the time you were born, the date you were born, and the place you were born, it doesn't have to be the exact place, but just the city and all of that, you can get your chart read. And I haven't done it yet, but I'm looking into my chart. You can do it yourself, but it's more better if you get it done from somebody else if you don't really know about astrology. But basically, I learned that Uranus in the fifth house is the reason why so many traumatic things happen to me. Like, I can never just smoothly transition from one point in my life to the next. Like, it's always like a boom, this happened. Like, it can never just be, oh yeah, I'm just moving to Florida and I'm just starting my new life and I'm moving peacefully. It's always like a boom, pow. Like I'm leaving this, boom, then that happened and it caused me to do this. For example, before I left college, one of the main reasons why I left college, right? I was been thinking about leaving college, but one of the main reasons that pushed me to leave is I almost got jumped. I almost got simultaneously attacked by multiple people that were older than me that I had no clue of their existence about. But you know what I mean? Which is another story time. Like I have so many story times. I didn't realize that before, but I realize it now that I'm on YouTube, right? What's another one? Yeah, like I can't just like move from living with my mother to living with my grandmother. It's like boom, I'm trying to leave the army. Boom, they're trying to like they're trying to keep me in this contract, which I'm gonna speak about later, but like you know what I mean? I gotta battle this army shit and just trying to leave the contract, right? Boom, I'm working a job. Boom, I get into a car accident. Like Uranus in the fifth house is why I'm so liable, like to big accidents. And it scares me because it's like, bitch, I don't want to die. Like that could mean I could die unpredictably. Like it just makes me liable for like to experience dangerous situations or just like life-threatening situations or just accidents. Like that's basically do your research about Uranus, but yeah, y'all, like that's why so many things happen to me. Like it's never just a smooth transition. It's always some shit. And I'm glad I have this channel because it's like it's documentation that I'm not making this shit up, bro. It's validating everything. So, if y'all don't know, I signed up for the army maybe like towards the beginning of this year, but not January, like maybe February, March for sure, either March or April. Pretty sure it was like March, February. I signed up for the army. And the reason why I signed up for the army is because I left college. I left college due to financial reasons. And after leaving college, I didn't have a plan B, which is not like me because I always have a plan B, but the thing is, I was conditioned that college was the end all be all for me. So once I left college, it was kind of like, damn, like, what do I do now? Like, I don't know what to do because my family ingrained into my mind and conditioned me like, once you leave high school, it's college immediately. Like, no questions asked, college. But what they fail to understand is that I can't go to college if you're not going to supply me with the finances. I can't just walk up in there and, you know what I mean? Because if college was free, best to believe I would be doing it right now, but it's not. So, and the reason why I don't like college is they're charging me a salary I don't have. Like, what sense does that make? So after I left college, it was just kind of like a question, what do I do with my life now? And honestly, I never thought about the military. Like that wasn't even an option for me. I just thought about working. But one night my stepdad was talking to me and he kind of severely convinced me to join the army, which I'm going to say all the things I don't like about the army real quick after I'm done with this story. Boom, started the army. Um well, I started training. I didn't start doing like anything yet, but I was training. I wasn't an officer or nothing like that. I was just a little soldier. I was enlisted, right? Okay, cool. I'm training, mind you, I've only went to like 2 or 3 training days. And after like the second, honestly, after the first really, but especially after the second slash third day of training, and when I say training days, I don't mean like consecutively, like after the other. Like basically you train once every month, right? So after the like second month of training, the second training day, whatever, y'all get what I'm trying to say. I was like, yeah, this isn't for me. Like the army isn't for me. Like I always knew it wasn't for me, which is why I never considered it. But especially after doing it, I was like, yeah, this isn't for me. Mind you, my stepdad's the opposite. He is definitely like a guy that could be in the army. That's his thing. Guns, shooting, machinery, all that. He loves it all. But me, that's just not my path, obviously. I'm pretty sure none of y'all ever came on this channel and was like, yeah, you do well in the army. Like, no, that's not my thing. Um, so I decided, you know what? And I was at a crossroads, but I had an epiphany. I was like, you know what? I think I need to move with my other family, with my dad's side of the family, not with my biological father. Fuck that nigga. But I was like, yeah, like I'm just gonna move because I'm realizing that this isn't number one, the environment that I'm in is not. Why does my teeth look crooked? They're not. But like, I don't know, my teeth like that, the bottom ones. I don't know. Whatever. I'm having body dysmorphia. Anyways, so I just realized I had an epiphany like this isn't a good environment for me. And not just like not like I was being abused or like they couldn't supply me with my needs like no, but it's just like communication styles was not mixing, it was unhealthy. And not only that, I just think it was just time for me to go. Like I've just been like there was been signs and I was just like, yeah, no hard feelings. It was nothing personal. It was just like, yeah, it's just time for me to go. So I communicated that with the army. I'm like, you know what? It also gives me a good excuse to not do this shit no more. Like, I really don't want to do the army. And it's like, yeah, I'm literally going to be moving. Like, mind you, I didn't know I was going to move because, again, it hit me out of nowhere. I didn't know that I needed to move. I didn't know, like, the big step I needed to do was move. I just thought that, I don't know. I don't know. It really took a turning point for me, right? Mind you, I was in the middle of my nodal return. Basically, it happens every 18 to 19 years. I did a whole video on that. Anyways, right? Usually in your nodal return, like you experience big changes. So you experience it when you're 18 slash 19, 28 slash 29, like usually in your 30s too. Like could be your 30s. 39, you know what I mean? Every those couple years. So yeah, I communicated, I called the officer, whatever, whatever, and I was like, look, um, I'm leaving the army. Like, I don't want to do this shit anymore. Now, did I lie about some things? Maybe. I also alluded to the fact that my grandmother was going through some health issues, which is true. She is, and I just wanted to be there for her. And yeah, I'm just moving. Like, I literally physically cannot go to training, and I just don't want to do this shit no more. When I tell you this guy sat on the phone with me for like 2 hours trying to convince me, bro. And I was so annoyed because I'm just like, I just don't want to do this shit anymore. Like, why is it like, why are you begging me to stay? Like, you literally, I want you guys to keep this in mind. When we signed up, they told us that we can basically exterminate our contracts. It's not advised, but we can do it, right? So, anyways, I'm telling him, yeah, I'm trying to leave this, da 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 da. He like, oh, like, no, like instead of leaving, basically instead of terminating your contract now, wait till you get down there, wait a couple months. I'm gonna check in with you. And if you still, you know what I mean, wanna leave the contract, then you can do that. But if not, then whatever, right? Like, I'm like, okay, cool, that's fine with me. And then mind you, like he's using scare tactics, like, once you leave, like it's gonna take you 2 years. Basically, if you terminate your contract, you can't, if you would like to sign up for the army again, you have to wait like 2 years. I'm like, okay, don't think I'm gonna do that, but okay. So yeah, moved to Florida, months go by, bitch, we're in June right now, right? He texts me again and he's like, hey, how's everything going? Like, are you moving down there permanently or like what? I'm like, yeah, like I'm here permanently. Like I told you that. Like I don't know what's wrong with them. Like when I say things, I mean it. Like I'm not lying. I told you I was moving down here permanently. Like I don't know if you thought this shit was for play. I told you I'm moving down here permanently. Most likely. So he's like, okay, would you like would you give me the location to where you're at so I could transfer you to a different basically military base so you can do training there? I'm like, I told you I wanted to leave. Like I told you I didn't want to continue this. So I don't respond. Like, I'm sorry. So whatever, right? So literally that happened like yesterday night before I went to bed, y'all, I prayed to my ancestors, my spirit guides, my spirit team, and divine source itself. I literally was like, y'all, please help me get out of this military contract. Like, I don't want to do this shit anymore. Like, I'm tired. I'm done. And let this be a testimony that all the shit that I be saying on here is true. I am divinely supported. My ancestors be supporting me. They be, child, my spirit team be on it. They are right behind me, supporting me every step of the way. Um, Even more than I know, because sometimes I feel like they're not proud of me, but they are. Not gonna lie, sometimes I'm be like, what do they gotta be proud of? But I'm gonna give myself a little pat on the back. So yeah, I prayed to them and everything. I gave offerings and I was like, please help me get out of this contract. Like I don't want to do this shit anymore. I hate the feeling, like I hate feeling like I don't have a choice. We gonna get on that. We gonna get on why I don't like the army specifically. But I prayed, right? I prayed and I was like, yeah, please help me. Like I would really like y'all help. And yeah, went to sleep, woke up, and it is currently 10:41. But I got a text at 10:22, same officer, and he was like, basically like, look, if you really are insistent on exterminating your contract, give me your mailing address so we can do the paperwork. It took y'all 4 months to realize I was serious about this shit. I wasn't playing. Like, I don't know why, but like, do people not take me serious when I say certain things? When I told y'all I wanted to leave, like, I meant that shit. I meant that shit. And this is what pisses me off about the army. Let me list a couple reasons why I don't want to do this shit no more and why I just don't like the army, right? Its principles as a whole. Number one, they use these cheap bullshit ass scare tactics, these intimidation tactics, and abuse of power. Like they try to use their authority, their power of authority over you to like scare you, right? So I want y'all to keep in mind when we signed up for the military, they told us that people, like, it's not uncommon. People do exterminate their contracts. They advise against it, but they do exterminate their contracts. Basically, on some like, make sure you really want to leave before you try to exterminate your contract, right? They have told us, and that was your first mistake. If you really wasn't trying to let me leave and you was trying to intimidate me to not leave, that was your first mistake. You told us the day of, we can leave our contracts. Da 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 da. I kept that shit in mind. It was like, yeah, we've had many people leave. Mind you, they were talking about people exterminating their contracts from the beginning. Like, basically, it would be hard to do it once you're already shipped off in training, right? But if you're in the beginning stages and you haven't left, you can exterminate your contracts. And I told them ahead of time. I told them from the jump, like, look, after the third day of training or the second day, I told them, like, hey, I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm leaving. I'm literally moving to Florida. And they asked me questions like, why would you sign up if you knew you were gonna? I didn't know I was gonna move. This is very like last minute, right? So that's number one. Like, and I'm so thankful that I took interest, that I take interest in police interrogation and basically like when there's a crime, like criminals or like murder cases and all of that. I watch those police interrogations, right? And they use the same cheap ass tactics, like scare tactics. Like, you know, when police interrogations be like, oh, we caught you on the cameras doing this? Whole time they didn't have no cameras and they didn't see shit, but it's to try to get you to confess. It's the assumption that they already know what's going on. That's the type of tactics they use. I don't like that shit, right? And then when I was on the phone with him, like telling him, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore, he was getting like super personal with me. Mind you, this guy doesn't know me from a can of paint. I'm talking about the officer that helped hire me and put me on to the military. He doesn't know me from a can of paint. He don't care about my family. Like the tactics, it's just so bullshit. They try to like do this whole like we're family shit. Like they try to get to know your family, your kids, all of that. Like they try to become close so that it gives the illusion of like a inner a close connection, intimate connection, so you could feel like related to the army. Like, bitch, the people in the U.S. armed forces and the government don't give a fuck about you, okay? But he was trying to get like super personal with me. He was like, "Oh, so what's your plans after you leave?" Like, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm probably gonna get a job. Obviously, like I can't be poor." He's like, "Oh, what job are you gonna get? Because you know when you leave the army, you don't have a degree. Like, no offense, you didn't finish college. Like, you might be working at McDonald's. Like, you know, this one guy I saw that he left the army. Look at his future now. Like." And it was just, I'm sorry. I felt really offended and it was really disrespectful because I don't like people speaking on the future if you don't know what's going to happen. Like, I don't like people making incorrect, especially negative predictions about the future. Like, oh, he was like, yeah, like that might be your future. Like, you're probably going to be working at a McDonald's for the rest of your life. I kid you not. The guy literally told me that on the phone. He was like, you're going to be working at McDonald's for the rest of your life. Disrespectful. Once he started saying shit like that, like I was already turned off because it's like dealing with certain people, I learned how to listen, but not listen, like actively listen, how to turn off my active listening to pretend like I'm listening, but really everything's going through one ear and out the other. Once he started saying shit like that, I was like, yeah, you're disrespectful. I don't appreciate people speaking on the future, speaking ill on my future. I don't like that shit. Do not do that shit. I hate that shit, right? And yeah, he just spent a like an hour or two just excessively talking, trying to convince me, like, you know what I mean? And here's the thing. Did this guy really care about me staying in the army? No, he didn't give a fuck. Here's the thing. I see right through the bullshit. You want me to stay in the army because I'm pretty sure you get paid extra if somebody you introduced into the army enlists in the army and starts training, you get paid extra. I'm pretty sure there's a system like that. That's what that was all really about. And he already told me like he has wives, kids. You got a family to feed, my nigga. I know you wanted that extra coin, but not on the back of my life. Not on the precipice of my life. Like, no, I'm not affecting my life so you could get paid. No, sir. Not doing that. But yeah, so I called him, right? And then I called like the head, like, so basically think of it like the manager, right? There's like a store manager and then there's like the head manager, right? So I called the head, the one that's in charge of all the people who enlist. And I was basically like, yeah, I'm thinking about leaving. Like, I want to leave. And he was like, oh, well, you signed a contract, right? And I was like, yeah. I keep talking about this because still to this day, it blows my mind. He was like, oh, you signed a contract, right? And I'm like, yeah. Like, yes, I did. He's like, oh, well, you can't, like, you can't leave it. Like, you signed that contract. Lie again. Feed me some more bullshit because you pulled that shit right out your ass. Y'all literally told us that we can leave. Like, let me tell you something. The army heavily relies on intimidation and shit like that, and like intimidation of power and authority. Because I'm telling you, I'm not intimidated by none of this shit because I literally binge watch a whole bunch of police interrogation. I literally, and they teach you about law and all of that shit, right? I know that if I really want to, I can leave this contract. That's why I wasn't intimidated. But I just don't like the sense of you're blocking me from having options. Like, I don't have a choice. I don't like that. It's my life. I have a choice if I want to do this shit or not, and I don't. So he's like, yeah, you can't, we can't just let you leave. Like, I could let you go to Florida because, I see you're serious about moving, but how about you stay down there for a couple months? And if you want to leave, then you leave. And if you don't, then you don't. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Whatever, right? Because I know in the end, I'm going to leave. Like, I don't know what they think. I'm going to do a 180. It's not about fear. Like, I'm not scared of the army or nothing like that. I just don't want to do this shit no more. I'm not scared of none of that weird shit they make you do in the army. I just don't want to do it, right? Cool. So, I mean, yeah, you guys, that's that. That's like the main reason why I don't like the army. It's the manipulation, the abuse of power and authority. I don't respect it at all. And just make you feel like you don't have a choice. Being real, like trying to be real interpersonal, like no. Here's my thing. The army is a job at the end of the day. So it's like they try to preach this like, oh, we're all family, one love, one house, one nation, one eye, something like that. But it's like, I don't know y'all. And you don't know me. And you don't give a fuck about me. You really just want that extra coin in your pocket. I know I'm like about to sound real pessimistic, but y'all, that's the truth. So, yeah, y'all, let this be a testimony. Like, my ancestors and my spirit guides, computer dying. My ancestors and my spirit guides, they work fast, bitch, because I literally prayed about this like a couple hours ago last night. And he texted me 10 something today. Like, you know what? If you really want to leave, just send me your address. Like, they finally decided to let me go. I told y'all I was telling the truth. Why, like, again, I don't know if they get paid extra if they, like, enlist more people in the army, but yeah, y'all, I'm about to do a whole story time about how I almost got enlisted in the army. Shit, this might be the story time, because, you know what I'm saying? But yeah. So overall, stand on business. Do not let people use their power and authority over you to scare you. Like they really thought they was doing something, talking about some, oh well, you can't leave. Yes, I can. Like and literally, even my parents and my mom and my stepdad, like even they were like trying to scare me, like, well, you can't just leave the army. Like, are you kidding me? Like, basically, I told them about me wanting to leave, and they were like, are you sure? Like, are you serious? Like, you signed the contract. Like, oh my gosh, you signed the contract. Like, you can't just, yes, I can. Like, people, they let that legal shit get to their head. Let me tell you something. One thing about the legal system, it's a game of chess. You don't have to be smart to do a couple things to know a couple things. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, I can leave if I really want to. I can leave this arm. I could leave the army, and bitch, I did it. I had faith. Like, I didn't let that whole scare tactic. Like, they basically preached to my parents. Like, yeah, you can't just get out easily. Like, you have to do paper. Obviously, it's a contract. Even when you work a job, you sign a contract. Like, trust. It's nothing different from a regular old job. Like, trust, they weren't scaring me. They use that. The reason why they say that shit is so you could stay. So if you're double thinking about leaving, they want you to think twice before you leave because they don't want you to leave because they want that extra check. You see the mind games? Y'all, don't let people with authority scare you. Y'all, the legal system is bullshit, honestly. It's really a game of chess. Like, it's not that serious. And yeah, I'm like officially about to be done with the army. Congratulations to me. And yeah, y'all, let this be a testimony that, I mean, communicate with your ancestors. Like, this is what having a strong spirit team looks like. Like, literally, I prayed about this last night. Mind you, it's been taking me months for them to finally let me go. And he texted me today, like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, you want to leave? Like, if you're really intent. And the way he said it too, he was like, if you're really intent on leaving, yes, bitch, I'm intent. Like, I told you the first time I wanted to leave. You should have listened to me then. You wasted your time. You wasted your time because I'm here living my life. You wasted your time. You could have been got that paperwork out the way. You could have been got that paperwork out the way, but whatever. And then they like, even my parents was like joining in trying to scare me, like, oh well, like once you leave the army, like that's it, like it's gonna be on your record. What's gonna be on my record? That I joined the army for a little bit and then decided to leave. Like that's not gonna, like, oh my gosh, it's gonna affect my no, it's not gonna affect my opportunities. And if that's the case, then that is bullshit. Like that's sad. But yeah, y'all, this is the chapters finally closing. I cannot wait. And yeah, I love my ancestors and my spirit guides and my spirit team as a whole and divine. Love them. They really did help me with this shit. But I feel like finally it's over with. Telling y'all, this army shit was a fever dream. A fever dream I never want to think about or experience again. But that's it for my diary entry. I'm sorry for kind of coming on here and ranting like this. I just really needed to let all of that out because this was so frustrating. And I do want to take accountability, even though we're all the way at the end. I do want to take accountability. Like, yeah, I did sign a contract and that does come with obligations. But at the same time, y'all told me I could leave. Like, it's no different than a regular ass job, y'all. It's just like a government affiliated job. When you with a job, you sign a contract and you can leave that job anytime you want. Nobody's obligated to make you do anything. I hate that shit. I hate when people make you feel like you have no choice. You do have a choice. So think twice before joining the army. But I see y'all on the next one. Peace. This was kind of long.